Well, let's continue with our lead story on the moves by the president to end the security crisis in the country. Earlier, I spoke with a risk and security intelligence specialist, Mr. Kabiru Adamu, who discussed the president's recent meetings with various stakeholders on the security situation with me. I asked him if the challenge is becoming overwhelming.
You remember his promise when he came to power is to deliver 3 things. One of them is security. And so I think the meeting is an attempt to meet that aspiration that he has promised Nigerians. Unfortunately, however, despite the meetings, we're still seeing the various security challenges affecting the country.
Yes, well, it's a different sort of challenge that they have in the northeast than we can see in the northwest, with insurgency in the northeast and then kidnapping and banditry in the northwest. What sort of efforts do you think will be required? Some have said it's not a silver bullet thing and it's not one size fits all. What sort of strategic efforts do you want to see at this time?
In summary, I would say 2 major things. Firstly, coordination within the security architecture. There are 27 organizations that are involved in security in Nigeria, ministries, departments, and agencies. So I would like to see better coordination among these 27. I think the overemphasis on the military component, especially the service chiefs that we're always talking about, should be reduced. All the other 23, as it were, or 24, should also play their role. Border protection, as an example, is not a military function. It is clear the role of the immigration and the customs to enhance border protection. Weapons proliferation is a function of the porous borders. So if border protection is enhanced, weapons proliferation will be reduced, and the military and the other security agencies will be able to do their work. So coordination of the 27 agencies, improved coordination. And then the second thing is monitoring and evaluation. I would want to see metrics introduced into our security architecture so that we're able to measure the performance of this organization. And to that extent, I think both the executive arm of government as well as the legislative arm of government need to work together to introduce these metrics. I would go further to suggest that the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies be engaged to come up with a measurement, performance evaluation mechanism that can be adopted by this security organization much more easily than they are currently doing. And then, of course, lastly, I would also talk about the requirements of all the security organizations. Sometimes equipment deficit, the welfare, and so many issues affecting their performances that needs to be looked into. Budgets sums are provided for, but from what I know, those budget sums are rarely ever given. Sometimes just 40% of what is stated in the budget is eventually released to these organizations, unfortunately.
Okay, for some who are looking from the outside in, some people have said that perhaps this is time to involve the international community and ask for more help if we seem not to be able to get it right, particularly when we look at what's happening in the Northwest. Do you think that's worth exploring at this point?
I would say that the international community is involved. The biggest countries, in the world, US, is involved in Nigeria. They are supporting us with training and other strategic forms of cooperation. There is an intelligence liaison arrangement existing between Nigeria and the US, and I know that a lot of intelligence sharing goes on between the 2 countries, so they are involved. For the British or the UK government, there is a British military technical assistant that has been in Nigeria for a very long time. There are also training components that are being provided by this country, so they are involved. However, nobody can do it for you better than yourself. And so those recommendations I mentioned earlier, on those 3 recommendations, we need to put them into practice, especially the issue of measurement, performance measurement. Currently, there is no metrics for measuring performance within the security architecture in Nigeria.